Hi everybody, and welcome to our home here in Brittany in northwest France. I'm Jane and my husband Michael is behind the camera. We're early retirees, we're debt and mortgage free. We live a really thrifty and frugal life as early retirees living on a pension here in France. And every Sunday we open our lives with you and share things that we've done this week. So let's take a look at what we've done this week. The weather has improved here this week. It's previously rained for weeks and weeks and weeks, but it's been dry this week, so that means I've been able to get out in the garden whilst Mike continues doing some work inside. We've been able to get to the market, we've been able to get to the garden centre, and I've made a start on some of the big long bank that we've got in our garden and some of the planting project we've got for that. So this week's all about the garden, but stay tuned until the very end. And at the end, I'm going to answer 2 of our most asked questions about our garden. Today is Thursday, and every Thursday our village of Huelgoat here in Brittany has a village market. We popped along today because I really wanted to get some local green vegetables, but I didn't just buy that. Let's take a look at this to start with. So you can see here I bought a big rhododendron, and it's a really good healthy plant. It's part of my challenge to buy a plant or a tree for our garden every single month, and this one cost me 24 euros. Okay, then I went to the various stalls. Let's start off with this one first of all. I bought a loaf of bread, and this is wholemeal bread, which is not common here and not easy to find, and that was €2.10. So that's why we don't go to the market very often. We wouldn't normally spend €2.10 on a loaf of bread. So, but we did today. It's good to support local businesses. I then bought 3 leeks for €1. I wanted some good fresh salad. This is watercress, which is in season at the moment. I don't know if you eat that. It's a very British thing. We watercress. It's like a winter salad vegetable. You can eat it raw, or watercress soup is really popular. But the bunch of watercress was €2. I've then got, oh, my bag's all gone soggy. I've got local spinach, and in English we call this chard, which is another variant of spinach. So you just wash it, chop it, you literally show it to the saucepan to cook it. And so this is ruby chard, and the ruby chard and the big bag of spinach was €3.50. What I like about buying this comes from a village nearby called Brittany, and we buy this off the man who actually grows it. And what I like about going in the baker's occasionally is you buy it off the people, wholemeal bread, so take it out. We buy it off the people who actually make it. So there we go, that was our trip to the village market. Oh, I nearly forgot. I've been after a scarf. I was going to get one when I went to the charity shop next time. And I saw the man selling scarves there. So he had a big rack of them, €2 each. I bought myself a new cotton scarf. So that's what I got from Huelgoat Market today. It's Thursday. We're going to have some lunch now. I think I'm going to have some wilted vegetables for my lunch with a bit of meat later on. So that's what we did today. Well, these have caught my eye. This is dogwood. We get a lot of winter here, and these plants are beautiful all winter with their red stems. They are on my maybe list. Dogwood. Let's have a look at the price of them. $13.95. Plants are expensive, but so beautiful. Well, here are the two dogwoods that I bought. They didn't really have any trees that I liked there, and we're going to go to another plant nursery another day. But for now, I've bought these, and I'm going to get them planted. So I'm going to go for a tour around the garden. I think, where am I going to put them? They need to be in full sun, and everywhere in my garden gets full sun. So I'll go and find somewhere. Okay, I thought I'd show you where I'm going to put these shrubs. So there's the house and the bank and the bank, and at the top of the bank is the road. We are not allowed to build a wall, build a fence or anything there without planning permission, or at least permission from the mayor. So the plan is for all of this bank over time is to plant plants all the way down it, but that's a huge undertaking. It goes all the way down to the property at the end. And we can't plant it too near the road, because at any stage the operatives, the staff who work for the local council, the local mairie, could just come along with a big machine and cut them all down. And to be honest with you, these could grow up and back a bit further, and the mayor's operatives could still come and cut them all down, in spite of the fact that this is our land. They have the liberty to do that. So I'm going to plant them here. You can see I have a shovel here, and all of this area here, I'm going to dig it over, clear the weeds off, and I've got 2 dogwood to plant there. I might go back another day and get a third, because I think things look good in odd numbers, not even numbers. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've got 2 dogwoods planted so far. I'm going to go back to the local town later this week to do my grocery shopping, and when I'm there I'm going to go back to the plants shop and buy 1 more because I want these to go in a cluster of 3. They were about €15 each, so plants are expensive. I will need to trim these next year, to prune them next year. I don't want them to get too big. I want them to be a feature here, and also if I prune them the stems will thicken up. Where I've planted them it gets full sun. You can hear I'm puffing. I'm not in good condition physically to be digging gardens, and I will do more of this later on today, but you can see all the bank is covered in weeds, and I do need to dig them up, and I'll get the weed pile that's down here, I'll get that into a heap somewhere to rot down, because the last thing that shrubs need are weeds competing all around. What I'll do later on is I'll go and get a load of mulch and weed around all 4 of these shrubs. Behind it there's a rhododendron, there's another one to the left. I'll weed all around those, and then I'll put mulch down to help the water get to the plant and not just run off this bank. So, little job done today. 2 shrubs in, I'll put another one in later on this week. This is the rhododendron I bought today at the market, and I'm going to get it into the bank. So that means this month I will have planted 3 plants with the money that I set aside for it. I really love these rhododendrons because here they grow to the size of trees, and when we have a mass of them on the bank, and they're lovely evergreens as well, they'll flower every year, which is really pretty. And pretty much once they're in the ground, other than a prune every now and then, they don't require any maintenance. So I'll get that in the garden. Here's the planting I have done so far. So you can see there and there, 2 dogwoods. When I go back to the town to do the shopping, I'll put a 3rd in there, so there's a cluster of 3. I now have 2 rhododendrons that I planted last year. They're growing, and another one I bought today from the market in the middle. So you can see there's the road. These grow to be 2 meters high. They will form quite a pretty and durable boundary. We're not allowed to put a wall here or anything here on this land, but we can obviously plant on it, and you can see I've planted it well back from the road because it will grow 2 meters all around, and that's what I've planted so far. take a look there at the willow trees. We've just been down to take some cuttings. We've taken some cuttings home, and apparently all we have to do is stick them in the ground, and we're going to go and see if we can grow some willow trees. Thought I'd just pop a quick video on. I took some willow cuttings off a friend, and I went online and looked at some experts in gardening videos, and there was two different schools of thought. One was stick them in a bucket of water, the other one was just stick them in the ground, and it said at least 50% will grow just fine. So that's what I've done, and they're quite densely stuck in the ground on the basis that 50% might not live. And this is all little, I know these as whips, willow whips, they're lovely yellow stems. This works. I'm going to keep planting willow and hazel all down this bank, and it will grow up. I just think the sticks are pretty. Anyway, that's what I have been doing on this freezing cold morning. We really hope that you enjoyed that video, and if you did, go on, give it a like, and thank you to everyone who does give it a like. Now let's get into those two questions. The first question is, what are your plans for your garden? And the second question is, do you plan to grow any vegetables? So let's go to the first one. The first part of our plan is that we have a lot of hard landscaping to do first. We have all the spoil from the barn demolition and rebuild. That has to be processed first. We have a lot of pine trees from a previous plantation that are well beyond their best, and they need to come down this year. So that's a big part of it. And the other structural part of our garden is it's 2.5 acres, and there's a good 200 meters of boundary between us and the road, and there's nothing there really. So we do literally have people walking in and out as if they just can. So we are going to be planting all the way down that side of the garden to create a hedge. We don't just want to go and plant a laurel hedge, we want to plant a mixture of shrubs and trees so it looks nice as well. So the second question that people have is, are you going to have a vegetable garden? Now, as I've said, our garden is completely exposed to the road. We've got some hard landscaping to do, and the simple answer is yes, in the future. But I need to add something. We are in an absolute bottom of what used to be an old quarry. Because of that, we are in a huge frost pocket. So just about anything that we plant in the middle literally burns to a shrivel, like the entire plant burns. So there will be things that we'll need to do. For example, we'd need to fence off and create some kind of windbreaks. We might need to put in a polytunnel. And because we live in a very beautiful village full of tourists who use this route around as a walking route, we are going to have to go through the Mayor's office to ask for permission for that. And so far, the message that we've had from the Mayor's office is very clear. Things cannot be unsightly. They cannot be what they consider to be mosh or ugly. So we have to be very carefully and tread very lightly. We are guests here, we are foreigners here, so we do have to tick every rule very carefully. So yes, we will grow vegetables in the future, but we need to think of the structure and how we do that. For example, we're right by the forest. We have deer walking in and out. We would have to build a strongly fenced off area. And again, we have to be mindful of what that looks like. So I hope that answers your two questions about our gardens. Now, if you've any other questions to ask us, please go ahead and leave that in the comments. We really appreciate everybody who watches, everybody who gives it a like, and if you're not a subscriber, go on, hit the bell and become a subscriber. Just leaves me to say, on behalf of Mike and I, thank you everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Bye!